today we are going to focus on theoretical framework and how to come up with the hypothesis. So you can see this topic for today's class, theoretical framework / conceptual framework and hypothesis development. So for this topic, you can follow your textbook. That one will be chapter 5. Okay, theoretical framework and conceptual framework. This is actually same thing, but the basic difference is usually when we draw the model, right? Research model, we call it. So when we draw the model, research model, based on only one theory, right? I think that based on the theory, like suppose Maslow's hierarchy need theory, right? So that theory, so that one is based on need, right? So need related theory, Maslow's is the one, right? There are Herzberg's and other people, they also have the theories. But if I just want to focus on only particular theory to get the idea of the need, and we are applying that idea of that particular theory to develop our research model, so that will be called as theoretical model. Just using one particular theory, getting the idea and apply it to come up with our own research model, so that one will be called as theoretical model. Conceptual model will be more than one theories. We are going to get the idea, get the concept, and we are coming up with our own concept to draw the model. So that one will be called as conceptual model. Make sense or not? Theoretical model, conceptual model, same thing, research model, but difference is only theoretical model based on only one theory. When we draw the model, theoretical model or theoretical framework, conceptual model based on several theories, and then we get the idea, apply it to draw our research model, that will be called as conceptual model. All right, so then what is theoretical model or conceptual model? So this lecture is very important for you because main part of your research today we are going to talk about it. This is not that the previous classes, whatever lectures I have given, it is not related. Of course related, but now it's more focused for your research. Means this will be giving, when conceptual model will be drawn, it will give you a clear picture your research is all about what. So okay, so the theoretical or conceptual model means what? This one will be means a model or a figure or a picture which will be actually representing your beliefs on how certain phenomena means this phenomena could be variables, it can be construct, it can be factors, it can be concept, it can be domain, it can be dimension, and so on. Different people will be like calling it in different like way, in different terms, using different terms. So your theoretical or conceptual model will be representing your beliefs on how certain variables will be related to each other. So based on the variables we are going to select for developing our model, when we will be drawing the picture and we will be drawing the arrows to show which variable is related to which variable and how those are related. So that one will be called as a model. Not only you will be showing with the picture that which variable is related to which variable, that variable is related to what variable. Not only that you are saying that the relationship is there, but you need to also explain why you believe that the relationships are there between the two variables or among the variables. So this explanation, when you will be giving it, so that time it will come from where? Based on the theory as well as from the previous researches, right? So based on the theory and based on the empirical studies or the literature review, right, then you need to explain why you believe that those variables are related to each other. So I give you an example. Suppose for this model, right? So one of the students model, conceptual model or theoretical model, whatever you call it. So this model is based on what? Factors affecting investors' trust to trade online, right? So this way, this person already identified the factors which are actually related to whether the investors will be trading online or not, right? So identified already these variables, right? And he is trying to show with the picture that yes, perceived usefulness is affecting, has a relationship with investors' trust. This ease of use is actually affecting or has a relationship with investors' trust. Then security has a relationship with investors' trust. And with arrow, it's also showing that investors' trust has a relationship with trade online. The way you are going to show all the variables that you have selected for developing your model, and with the arrow you are showing the relationship. This picture or this figure you are drawing, it will be called as your what? Your research model or your conceptual model or theoretical model. Make sense or not? The way you are showing how these variables will be related to each other, it will be called as your theoretical model. Okay, then what is your hypothesis, right? Hypothesis will be when you will be like giving the statement of the relationship of the variables, right? So first arrow, you consider that perceived usefulness is affecting investors' trust, right? So you are saying that the more will be the perceived usefulness, the more will be the investors' trust, right? So you are explaining. So you are explaining there is a significant relationship or positive relationship between perceived usefulness and investor trust. Yes, please.
Sorry, the picture a little bit small. Can you enlarge it?
Yeah, sure.
PPT slide.
Yeah, sure. Because I moved to one page to another page, so that's why sometimes. Hold on.
So the what we call it, the hypothesis is just the prediction, right?
Yes, exactly. You are predicting, right? Assumption. Your assumption. Yes, assumption. I'm coming on that. How you need to write down the hypothesis. Okay. One by one, I will be coming on that. No problem. Good question. So this is your assumption, right? So you were assuming based on what? Assuming based on the theory as well as based on the previous researchers' finding, right? So that's why you will be also assuming that yes, previous studies also found the result like this, or the relationship should be like this between the variables, or the theory is also giving the idea that the relationships will be like this. So you will be based on those backup evidences, you will be also assuming that the relationship between the variables for your context will be working in the same manner. So you are assuming. So later on, when you will be collecting data, you will be analyzing it, then you will find that yes, there is a relationship or there is no relationship between the variables based on your context, and your finding is like this. So then usually when you go for developing or drawing the theoretical framework or conceptual framework, right? What are the basic steps you need to follow? The basic step, first you need to identify and label all the variables correctly that you are going to use or you are going to consider for developing your conceptual model. And then for this case, right, for identifying and label the variables correctly, you will get the variables related to all your topic, right, will be coming from where? Suppose, for example, I don't know whether it's there or not, some of the students literature review is there, I think. Look, suppose for this one, some of the students, they have already done it, so I just took like one. So suppose this, right? So this one is factors influencing successful graduate employability from industry academia collaboration in Klang Valley, right? So this is the main study of that student. I'm not saying that this is a very good one or correct. I'm just showing it to you just to make you understand. Okay, so at this moment, the first step before you go for developing the conceptual model, you need to consider this column, this variable, factors, dimensions, and construct column, right? So here from there, I can see that what are the variables you can consider for your case. So you just see, means I think he has done it wrong here. So all these variable are, these are the variables actually. Competency level is one variable right here. And then what else is there? Suppose this competency is one, right? Competency level. Then what else? Then perception of employers can be one of the variable, right? So you need to see what are the variables are there. Okay. Then maybe one more thing. Hold on, I just received a good one here just to show you. Actually, this person, he actually added few more column. You can also do the same thing if you want. Previous class, I also mentioned, right? It's not that the template I have given, this is like the means what means exactly you need to follow the same, but you can follow or get the idea from there. Okay, hold on. So good example. Hold on, So this one, I don't know this one how I can get rid of. this column. Okay, this one is more on factors to maximize the potential of KOL, key opinion leader, right? KOL means collaboration and propel corporate success. A study on cosmetic industry. So this guy is actually having a look on the literature review based on this topic, right? This is the topic he has chosen. So look, I just go for considering this column, that emotional intelligence, one of the factor, right? Then celebrity endorsement is one of the factor. Then brand attitude is one of the factor. Then social presence is one of the factors. So there are so many factors related to key opinion leaders collaboration, right? Then you don't, maybe from here you can get like maybe 20 variables, right? Are you going to use 20 variables? No, right? So you are going to use the most important one. You can just go for 4, 5, 6, 3, means like minimum 3. Try to get minimum 3 variables to get it from here. The most important one that you really want to consider, or the most important angle you want to means like consider to investigate your problem, right? So from your this column, you try to identify the best or the most important variables that you want to consider to draw your model, right? So first basic step will be identify and label the variables correctly. And then not only to vary means like labeling the variables, also the second step will be you need to also state the relationships among the variables. I already mentioned, right? So the relationship between the variables will be called as a hypothesis. That will be your assumption of the relationship between the variables, right? So then it will be hypothesis. Not only you will be stating the relationship of the variables between the variables, you need to also explain how and why you are actually thinking that these variables are related to each other. So you need to give the explanation, and these explanations you will be getting it from where? You will be getting it from the literature review. Like from the, then I go for exceeding the full view, then I again go back to the literature review, right? Then literature review, from here you can just go for giving the explanation. If you say that yes, emotional intelligence, right, has a impact on the key opinion leaders collaboration, then you need to give the justification, right? You need to explain, right? Explanation can be coming from these findings, then this from this literature review. So you just go back to that particular article and you can just explain how emotional intelligence will be related to this whole collaboration, and then later on how this key opinion leaders collaboration will be having impact on this corporate success. So this way you can just go for getting the references from here to give the explanation, right? Because I mentioned previously that whatever you will explain, you need the backup, right? You need to give the references. So all these references you will be getting it, considering or like following your this literature review table. So far, is it making sense for you? You are understanding?
Yes.
Trying hard.
Yes.
If anything, thank you. Okay, if anything, just let me know. Stop me or just raise your hand so that I can stop and give more clarification. Okay, then go to the next slide, right? So I mentioned that this is one of the student. He has done the research on this. So this is the conceptual model, right? Okay, then variable, right? Now come to the variables. It is not that means the variables I'm going to talk about, all variables are means like compulsory to include it in your conceptual model, except these two, right? Dependent and independent variable, it must be there in your conceptual model. Mediating and moderating variable concept I'm going to give you, it's not necessary that you must consider mediator and moderating variable in your conceptual model. Based on the theory, based on the conceptual, based on the theory, based on the literature review, if you see that yes, in between independent and dependent variable, I need to consider mediator as well as I need to consider the moderating variable, so you can put it in your conceptual model. Otherwise, no need. But independent and dependent variable, these are must, right, to consider it, to come up with the conceptual model. So what is dependent variable? And first come to the variable. What is variable? Variable are the construct or the factor which means the values are actually varying or changing, right? So any concept or construct that varies or changes in value, so those will be called as variable, right? So come with the dependent variable first. Dependent variable is that variable that will be the main interest of your study. That one will be the main factor of your study. Like for example, right? So here, for example, if I consider this topic, right? Which one is the main variable? Yes, factors affecting investor stride. So ultimately, your main finding will be to what? To finding or outcome will be whether people will be or investors will be trading online or not. So this one will be your main variable. So this one is actually your dependent variable. And whether people will be trading online or not, this will be depending on what? Depending on all the factors you are going to identify, or all the factors this person already have identified, right? So this will be your independent variable. Independent variable means those variables who are not dependent on other variable, right? Independent. So they are self-sufficient. So at this moment, so your dependent variables will be your main interest of the study and main focus of the study, and your independent variables will be, means your dependent variables value or the results which will be depends on other variables, so that will be called as independent variable. So here in this case, this will be trade online will be your dependent variable, and left hand side all these factors will be called as independent variable. Ultimately, trade online or investors trust is depends on all these variable, right? So these are independent variable. Okay, now dependent variable, I just mentioned that it will be the primary interest of the researcher, right? So so this one will be like goal will be, your main goal will be to either understand or predict the result of the main focus of the study. And in the independent variable, it can either negatively or positively influence the dependent variable, right? So all these dependent variables results will be actually depends on the independent variable. Okay, now come to the point, mediating variable. Mediating variable is that which will be like coming in between independent and dependent variable. Then again, I'm saying this is just for your concept. If you see that, yes, the model you are drawing or the topic you are choosing, and what is that one? You need to draw the model, and in between the independent and dependent variable, there will be another variable, and independent variable is not directly affecting the dependent variable. So there will be another variable via which or through which the independent variable is actually affecting the dependent variable will be called as mediating variable. So in this case, for this study, right, for this conceptual model, you can see that yes, trade online is not directly affecting by all these independent variables, via which investors trust is actually affecting whether people will be trading online or not. So look, so innovation, sorry, again I go for this, I don't know. Okay. So perceived use of usefulness, reliability, and real time, all these factors first will be affecting investors' trust, and investors' trust will be then affecting whether people will be trading online or not. So here investors' trust will be acting as a what? Mediator. Then what is moderator? Moderating variables' main role will be either weakening or strengthening the relationship between the variables. Strengthening and weakening the relationship, right? Strengthening or weakening the relationship means relationship is there, right? Between two variables. Between two variables, relationship is there. So relationship could be, strength of the relationship could be either very strong, it can be moderate, or it can be weak. Yes or no? Strength, right? When you have a relationship with someone, so maybe you have a relationship with your friend, some friends you have the bonding is very strong, relationship with some group of friends can be like very weak, right? Yes, you are friend, but you are not in touch in that much, right? So your strength of relationship that time it will be weak. So like this, the variable strength is also there, right? So moderators main role will be to either weakening or strengthening the relationship of the variables between the variables. So this way I'll give more explanation, then it will be easier for you to understand. Then usually when we go for considering any variable as a moderator, most of the time we are actually using the demographic variables as a moderator, like age, then gender, then income group, then any particular, what is that one, religion, and so on. So usually for our case, we usually go for using those demographic variable as a moderator. And usually when we go for doing the comparative study, also that time we consider moderators in our conceptual model. So I give you some example. Like for this one, right? This is actually my conceptual model for my thesis. So here my main intention means my main focus of the study is impact of religiosity on consumers' purchase intention towards Islamic financial products, right? So in this case, look, Muslim religiosity means how committed are people or Muslims towards their religion, right? It's not the religion, it is religiosity based on their commitment towards the religion. So that is actually affecting whether people will be buying Islamic financial product or not. So here, from the theory, I found that yes, religiosity or these socio-demographic variables, sometimes they are not directly affecting the purchase intention, but according to other theories like planned behavior theory or theory of planned behavior, according to that theory, it said, or it actually states that intention is not directly means like affected by the socio-economic factors. It is actually affecting first people's attitude. Attitude means what? People's feeling towards what? Towards a particular object. So your feelings, your attitude could be, or your feeling could be either good or bad, right? Either positive or negative. So it will be first not affecting directly the purchase intention. It will be affecting people's attitude first, their feelings first. And if you are feeling good or you are feeling positive, then you will be intending to buy the product, right? So here, look, either religiosity can directly affecting this dependent variable or through this mediator, right? So these are the way how you can draw the arrows. Here, look, generational cohort actually acting as a moderator. What is moderator? I mentioned it's actually either weakening or weakening the strength. Look, here I have considered generational cohort as my moderator, right? Here I can just categorize the generational group as traditionalist, swing, and Gen Y, right? So look, the way I put the arrows, can you see these arrows are directly to this one, direct to this one, direct to this one? No. Look, these arrows are actually poking, right? Poking to what? Poking to the relationship between these two variables. Look, it's not directing to this or directing to this or directing to that. So it's actually poking or just, what is that one? Moderating the relationship of these two variables. Look, this generation cohort is moderating the relationship of these two variables. Okay, so this way actually we put the arrows from the moderator to the relationship of the variables. Make sense or not?
Prof, sorry, Prof. I still have a problem understanding this one.
Okay.
Everything else is fine, but why is there an arrow directly from Muslim religiosity to purchase intention? Why can't it stay with Muslim religiosity to consumer and then to purchase intention? Why do you link that?
Means you just trying to say that why you are, means I'm putting the relationship directly, right, from the
Yes.
religiosity to intention. This
Yes.
is the one, because from the previous studies it found that it is directly affecting. They found it like directly affecting. But when they found that if it's directly affecting, means like the strength of the relationship is not that much. Direct means the direct relationship is not very strong. If it's coming through attitude, then the intention will be much more stronger. But this one, actually based on the previous studies, also they found that there are some direct relationships with this religiosity and purchase intention. You got it, Rosihan?
Yeah.
Rosihan, right? This
Yeah.
this idea came from the previous studies.
So if you find if there is another independent variable that is
Yes.
as strong as Muslim religiosity, it can also go directly to purchase intention.
Yes, can. Of course, can. So you need to justify. You need to justify the relationship. Then how come you say that? You are saying there is indirect. Then also you are saying direct relationship is also there. Yes, different studies, they found different, I mean, it's like outcomes, right? Different studies findings is different. So based on the previous studies findings and also based on the theories, right? Then I came up with this relationship. Razian, is it making sense?
Yeah. Okay. Understand. Thank you.
So it depends. Based on the theory of planned behavior, you can say that yes, it should come through this. But other studies, means empirical studies, means previous studies, they just say that yes, directly affecting people's purchasing. They didn't means like investigated the problem not via, they just investigated directly. But according to theory, it's not actually directly, it's also coming through this. This is like there are some other terms actually, but it will be too much for you if I just explain it now. Otherwise, like the basic things will be here and there. So later on, if you have anything, then I can directly contact with you or you can communicate with me. Yes, please, again.
Thank you, Prof. Sorry, just confused with.
No, it's okay. Because a good question, because based on the theory, yes, according to the theories, underpinning theories, it's saying that actually these socio-economic factors or social factors are not directly affecting purchase intention, because usually marketing thing, right? So if you just like to go for, what is that one, launching a new product, so directly you will just go for means like what, influencing people to buy your product. No, you need to come up with the promotional strategies, right? So to make them aware, that to make they are like to make them understand that what's the benefit of the product, right? What are the benefits of the services, then people will be having a good feeling, right? Either you can say, oh, this product is actually not good, it's a negative, then you will not go for purchasing the product. Then if the marketers can make you feel good, then your attitude will be positive towards that particular product, right? Then you will be intending to buy the product. So this is the process according to theory. But some studies, they say no, there are some direct relationship with the factors with the purchase intention towards the Islamic financial product. So this way, so I just came up with this. All right, now come to this. I was talking about the moderator, right? So I said that, okay, in general, I am saying overall, the Muslims, the more they will be having religiosity, so there will be a chance that they are going to have a positive relation, I mean, positive attitude towards their Islamic financial product. But here I would like to see whether the relationship, rather than the whole Muslim people, for these traditionalists, what's the strength of the relationship for traditionalists, swing generation and Gen Y? So according to the theory or according to the empirical studies, right, previous studies, and see that usually the more people will be getting older, right? So the traditionalist people, they will be more religious. So there is a possibility that the strength of the relationship of these two variables will be strong, right? And then for the Gen Y, usually the most young generation, right? So they will be more towards the, what is that one, to enjoy their life rather than devoting themselves towards the religion, right? So maybe the strength of the relationship will not be that strong. So it will be weak. So actually, interestingly, for my study, I found that Gen Y is, for Gen Y, the strength of the relationship of these two variables are higher, actually stronger. So this way, so you can just compare the result for these three groups, right? The result or strength of the relationship of these variables. Make sense or not? You could also go for choosing like male and female, right? You can also choose gender as your moderator and can see for female what's the result, for male what's the result, right? So this way you can also go for comparing the result among or between the male and female group. So this way you can also choosing the moderator. Okay, any questions so far? I'm just like talking and maybe I didn't give you a chance to tell me. All okay?
Prof, just want
Yes.
to ask. So
Yes.
in our writing letter, do we need to come up with this model in our proposal?
Yes, exactly. You need to come up with the conceptual model. You just go for selecting the variables. Again, I just exit the full screen. Then I just go for choosing the variables from here, right? So then variables from here, from your this column, right? So which variables actually you would like to consider to investigate your problem, and then draw it. And after drawing the conceptual model, then you need to write down the hypothesis. Now, how to write down the hypothesis, I will be talking about it. Yes, Ferdinand, right?
Yes, thank you, Prof.
Yes, so you need to. So next class, your task will be to draw this conceptual model as well as to write down the hypothesis. And hypothesis, when you will be writing, you need to make sure that you are first following your this conceptual model. This is just example. I'm just giving you lots of good conceptual models are there, but this is just for you understand. I quickly just got it actually. Okay, so quickly just go for drawing this model, and based on the model you need to come up with the hypothesis. Okay, now you can ask me, okay, the strength of the relationship, how I'm going to measure it, right? So at this moment you will not be able to say, right, whether or just like prove it that yes, the relationship you were showing through the model, it will be strong or it will be weak or it will be moderate, right? So then usually when you will be going for testing your conceptual model or the relationship of the variables, right? So that time what you need to do, you need to collect the data. First of all, you need to prepare the questionnaire. How to prepare the questionnaire, I'll be giving you the lecture on webinar 5. So usually when you will be testing the hypothesis or testing the relationship, so that time you need to collect the data, then you need to analyze it. After analyzing your data, then you will be getting the result, right? Usually you will be going for path analysis or correlation analysis. So you will be getting the result for all the paths, all the relationships, right? So you will be getting the result for each of the relationships. So usually this is like actually the cutoff points, or this is just like the explanation, right? If you see that the result for the relationship is less than 0.3, right? So that time it will indicate that there is no relationship or very weak effect size, right? And if you see that the result is in between 0.3 and 0.5, then you will see it's a low effect. And if you see the result is in between 0.5 and 7, then you can justify that there is a relationship between the variables, but their relationship strength is moderate. But if you see the result is more than 0.7, means that relationship indicates that the strength of relationship is very strong. Make sense or not? This is just for your understanding. At this moment, you will not get it. Again, after analyzing the data, then you will get the result, and this result, based on this, you can explain the strength of the relationship. Make sense or not?
Prof, is this R square value standard in used in research? The value, the R, I mean this one less than 0.3.
Just go for like using the SPSS and then using the SCM, right? PLS or MO. So all these, when you will be like using, then it will be like explaining, right? If you get this result, then what it should be, it will be indicated. So like this way, all explanations will be there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Then also you can, yes, just go for searching in, if you don't want to like read in detail, just quickly go for like Googling it. Just like say like, okay, this indicates this. Okay, then Kronberg alpha, like result is this, then what does it indicate? So something like that, you just write it down quickly to see actually what does it mean, and then you just get like the idea, and then you go for reading in more details. Okay, then going for moderating variable, mediating variable, done, right? So then for like this, again, I would like to say for moderating variable, you can just simply say that yes, maybe you can see for traditionalist, you can see the result is like 0.5. So you can say the strength of the relationship for traditionalist group for these two variables, the relationship is moderate. Then for GNY, if you see the result is 0.7, then you can see for GNY, the relationship of these two variables is strong. And for swing generation, maybe the relationship is weak. So like this way, you can compare the result based on this cohort group. So, or based on the gender, or based on the age, and so on. Okay. Now, when you will be writing down the hypothesis, right? Hypothesis is your proposition or the assumption, right? Or what someone just asked me, I forgot the name. This is actually your assumption, right? You are hypothesizing the relationship between the variables. So when you will be like stating the relationship between the two variables, so you need to make sure you are stating it such a manner, or you are choosing the variables and stating the relationship in such a manner. Later, it will be testable. That relationship, it must be testable, or you will be able to test, or you will be able to get the result of the relationship of the variables, right? So then later on, what will happen? What I was trying to say, proposition, right? Testable. So then you need to make sure then you want to test the relationship of these two variables between these two variables, right? So some of the students, not some, most of the students actually, what they do miss the wrong part, means you have like all these independent variables, you have this mediator, you have this dependent variable, these independent variable, this mediating variable, they come up with the questionnaire, but they forget to come up with the questionnaire for this dependent variable. Why? Otherwise, if you don't have the questionnaire or the measurement scale, right, for this variable, then how you are going to test it? So need to make sure whatever variables you are going to consider for your conceptual model, for each and every variables should be having measurement items, or we call it as a measurement scale, right? Measurement scales when we are using for each of the variable means all will be having like few questions to ask to the respondents, so that respondents can give their answer, and based on their answer we can measure each of the variables. When we will be able to measure each of the variables, then we will be able to what? Measure the relationship. Make sense or not? So whenever you will be like having your hypothesis, make sure those variables, those hypotheses are testable. So before you test the hypothesis, you need to make sure all your variables have the measurement scale. Okay, any questions so far? No question?
Prof, the H1 means hypothesis one, is it?
Exactly.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hypothesis one. Okay, another thing. When you will be looking at your conceptual model, right? So you just count the arrows. How many arrows are there? For this case, how many arrows? How many arrows can you see?
Six.
So how many hypotheses will be there? So 6 hypotheses, right? So you just count the number of arrows, means then you will be able, actually how many hypotheses will be there. So then go for looking at, okay. So make sure that your hypotheses are testable, and you are also need to make sure that when you will be developing the hypothesis, so those hypotheses must be adequate for your purpose. So those are actually what means those hypotheses will be able to answer your research question. I'm coming on the research question. Will be able to what means answer your research question, and ultimately when research questions will be answered, your research objective will be achieved, right? So you need to make sure you are like developing the hypothesis in such a manner so it will be helping you to achieve your research objective. And it must be testable, I already mentioned, right? And it must be better than its rival. Means what? Means when you will be giving the justification, right, of the relationship between the variables, or you are going to giving the explanation, you need to make sure the evidences you are giving, the ground you are giving, those are much more stronger than the previous researcher, the way they have given the explanation. So your explanation should be much more better and stronger than the previous researcher. So that will be your contribution, right? So otherwise, like same people, whatever they have said, you are saying the same thing, then there will be nothing new, right? So need to make sure that, but for your case, like, yes, I mentioned that you just follow how other people, they have done their own research, you just follow, and like, yes, though you are following, then you just try to make sure that you have something means new adding to your like explanation. Then your hypothesis can be directional or it can be non-directional, right? So directional is what means like the way you are writing the hypothesis is the greater the stress experience in the job, the lower the job satisfaction of employees, right? So it is actually the relationship statement between what? The stress experience in the job as well as with the what? Its relationship with the job satisfaction. So there are two factors, right? The relationship we are like stating, like usually what happens? Usually when we are stressed, our job satisfaction will be lower, right? Using the logical reasoning or the common sense. So there will be, if I want to put the relationship between these job stress experience and job satisfaction, we can just simply say like this way, the hypothesis, the greater the stress experience in the job, the lower the job satisfaction of employees. And then non-directional, right? Then non-directional could be like this. Sorry, because I can see this one, so that's why I have to exit the full screen. So non-directional can be, there is a significant relationship between age and job satisfaction. So I would like to give the statement of the relationship between this age and job satisfaction. Usually we just put it like this way, that maybe, or there, when there will be like mixed findings, right? So that time we can also don't know what to put, right? So simply we just say like, yes, there is a relationship, but don't know whether for my case it will be positive or negative. So simply you just mention there is a significant relationship or there is no relationship between age and job satisfaction. When we write down the statement like this way, or the hypothesis like this way, we call it as a non-directional. Okay, so then I go for the argument. Yes,
Sorry,
please.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hypothesis just now,
Yeah.
because this is solely on the project that we are going to do, right?
Exactly.
So if, let's say, the hypothesis that we can take from the literature review, is it possible?
Yes, yes. Now why not? For your
Okay.
case, because your context will be different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just follow them, no problem.
Okay.
It's not that like yeah, that you can't follow them. Of course can. No problem on that.
And also
So,
the independent variable and the dependent variable is actually because we do the literature review template, right? So there is one column on the variables. So we can also like cross-reference with that template as well.
yes, of course. Look, sometimes you will see that, okay, for example, right? So you are going to talk about like going to draw the conceptual model based on this emotional intelligence. So this one is emotional intelligence, one of the factor, right? Independent variable, maybe. Then another factor could be brand attitude. Look, then emotional intelligence is actually influencing these key opinion leaders collaboration, right? Effective collaboration. Then you see that not only this study actually is considered EEI, right? Means emotional intelligence. Then you just see whether other yeah, means like articles, they have also used the emotional intelligence or not. Then you can just go for referencing these articles which actually investigated the emotional intelligence and its relationship with the collaboration, right? So like this way. So just go for cross. What did you mean? What did you say?
Cross-reference.
Cross referencing. Yes. So just go for using like this way. Makes sense,
Okay.
right?
Right. Okay, got it.
Yes,
Thank you,
not
Dr.
only like only one article they focus on AI. Other articles may be also they investigated the collaboration from the EI aspect, right? And maybe the brand perception. Then brand perception may be how many articles they have actually focused on brand. What is brand? What is that one? I mentioned this. Brand perception or something like that, right? So just check which articles actually focused on what, and you just get those references and just write it down based on their support. Just write down based on these people's evidences. Okay, then I answered your question,
Yes, yes, Dr.
Kausalya. Okay. Okay, then I go for argumentation. Look, come to this argumentation, what you just mentioned actually, Kausalya, that whatever is like explanation you are going to give or the evidences you are going to give, so all you can just is like give this argumentation based on those exploratory research or your empirical research or previous studies or whatever you say. And sometimes you will say, if your topic is very new, then maybe you don't have the evidences, right? So that time what you need to do means you can go for interviewing people, like you can interviewing the expert on those field, and you can get the idea from them, and based on those findings then you can use the common sense and give the logical reasoning to come up with the hypothesis to justify your hypothesis. That can also be done. So argumentation can be done based on the exploratory research as well as based on the common sense and logical reasoning. Common sense, again I'm saying, if you are just saying that yes I came means I'm using my own idea, and but I can see your topic you means you can get lots of previous studies related to this topic, why you came up with your common sense, then that will be vague, right? So you need to make sure that you come up with the argumentation based on the exploratory. If you don't have any like support or evidences, then you can use the common sense or logical reasoning to develop the hypothesis. Makes sense or not? Makes sense, right? Any questions so far? Means I'm doing very good. No question, right?
No
So
problem.
then I give you task. Now you do it for me. Okay, so this is class exercise. Okay, so just to make sure, so if you just do it, then you will get the idea actually how to write down the hypothesis. So suppose this is just an example of a conceptual model or a theoretical model. So how many variables are here? How many variables?
Three.
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 How many arrows are here?
Two.
How many hypotheses then?
Two hypotheses.
Okay, then write down the hypothesis for me. You write down. I give you 5 minutes. Okay. I give you 5 minutes, and you just keep it with you. Don't write down in the chat box. You just write it down by yourself. Then after 5 minutes, I will see means how you have written. Okay. Customer switching means like switch the brand from one brand to another brand, or just quitting the existing brand and looking for the new one or going for the new one. Okay, so this is customer switching. Those who are not like related to this field, maybe customer switching is this one. All right.
Can I try, Prof?
Later, give others 2 minutes more. Then
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Patient, please.
Yes, we are like giving the exam, right? Zul Hilmi would like to try first. Okay, Zul Hilmi.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, I have.
Hypothesis one, right? Okay.
Okay,
What is the hypothesis one? How you have written?
Okay. Higher service quality leads to greater customer satisfaction. That's hypothesis one.
Okay, good. That
The second one is greater customer satisfaction leads to lower customer switching roles.
very good.
Sorry.
So look how actually Zul Hilmi, right? How he has actually written is correct way. So in different way we can write it down. Suppose for example, right? For this one, whether I can write it down or not, I just see. Okay, no. All right. So the first one, right? So this way, service quality and customer satisfaction. We can write it down like this way. Just go to this. For others who have not done it yet, so look the way Zul Hilmi he has done. Yes, it's the correct way. So I just write it down like this way. Okay. The higher the service quality,
Leads to greater customer satisfaction.
higher the customer satisfaction. So that way also you can write it down. Also this way you can write it down. The higher the service quality, the higher the customer satisfaction. Or we can just say there is a positive relationship between service quality and customer satisfaction. This is another way we can write it down. Same thing, right? So different way we can write it down. Then we can also say like there is another way we can write down that this way. There is a significant relationship. Means some of the relationship. Some of the studies they found that there is a like not really means like there is a relationship not really, right? See, there is a significant relationship between the service. So look, the same thing, but we are actually writing in different manner. So in a simple manner, you just write it down like this one. The higher the service quality, the higher the customer service. There is a significant relationship or there is a positive relationship between service quality and service customer satisfaction. So quality. You got it, right? So same thing, the hypothesis one, look, the different way we can write it down, but make sure you are writing it in a very like simple manner. Okay, so later you can test it. The second hypothesis is what? There is a significant relationship between the higher the customer satisfaction and customer switching, right? When you will be satisfied, so you are not going to switch it, right? So the higher the customer satisfaction, the lower the customer switching. So just write it down simply. So like this way. Where is that? Okay, hypothesis 2 will be H2, right? There is the higher the service, no, this one is customer satisfaction, right? The higher the service customer satisfaction, the higher the customer satisfaction, the lower the
Customer switching.
Yeah, exactly. Switching, right? Is to okay, switching. So then also, right, if it's like this, then you can say also there is a significant, there is a negative relationship, right? Yes or no? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. So
Inverse
this
relationship.
customer satisfaction and customer switching, right? Sense is same, right? Yes or no? But you can write it in different way. Meaning is same, right? So, and again, there is a significant relationship between customer switching and customer satisfaction. So same means like customer satisfaction and customer switching. So this way you can write it down. So all okay for others?
Prof,
Yes. Anyone would like to write it down in different way?
no, I have a question, Prof.
Yes, please.
if the hypothesis is vice versa, is it the same hypothesis?
Vice versa means, again, you just give me example.
What he did meaning when do we decide whether it's negative or positive, or it does it matter?
So if you say that, if you see that from the previous findings already it's clearly mentioned it's positively related, right? And then you can just say there is a positive relationship between the variables. And but if you say that some of the studies they found is positive and some of them they found that it's negative, then it depends on the nature of the study, right? And depends on the findings. Then you can say there is a significant relationship between the variables, but you don't know whether for your case, for your context, whether it will be positively influencing or negatively influencing. Is it making sense? Then you can say there is a significant relationship between this variable and that variable, like this way. Make sense or not?
Yes.
Yes, Prof.
Right.
Prof,
Yes.
this statement is based on the previous from previous articles that we took from other articles, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
So
At
we
this moment,
yeah.
I just showed actually how to write it down. So,
So
it totally depends on your study.
To provide the
Evidences,
from that
exactly.
articles,
Exactly. Based on the literature review.
literature review.
Based on the literature review. Then I asked you to come up with the template, right? So you just refer to those. Okay, this variable is related to that variable. What is the relationship? So you just see the findings, right? You just see the findings from here, and you take the reference from here, and you just explain it, or you just give the evidences before you go for stating the relationship or developing the hypothesis. Make sense or not?
Yes.
So basically, Prof, this one we want to determine whether the hypothesis it has a negative or positive relationship among the variables, right?
Yes. Based on the what previous studies, or based on the theory, or based on your logical reasoning. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Any more question? Okay, then it's clear, right? Okay, then I move to the next one. Okay, how many variables are here?
And
How
three.
Three. Okay, then how many relationships?
Two. One.
Only one relationship, yeah.
Again, how many arrows you can see? One. Who said one?
I see two arrows.
See two arrows.
So two arrows means how many hypotheses?
Two.
Then write it down. So this one is your independent variable. This one is your dependent variable. And this one is your moderator, right? Not mediator, mediating. Look, this arrow is poking the relationship, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Arrow is not from this variable to this variable, or this variable to this variable. Look, this one is actually poking the relationship, right, between these two variables. So this is moderator. So based on this, I mean, this is just a sample, right? Example. So you just need to come up with the hypothesis, how you are going to write down this. Switching cost means what? Means if you want to switch the brand, then some cost will be involved. So it maybe you need to be penalized if you want to switch the brand, right? So it will be switching cost. Means switching cost can be high or it can be low. So keeping in mind, then you write down the hypothesis, how you are going to write it down. Understood, right? Switching cost. Okay, 5 minutes time, 47. Now it's 12:47. Okay, 5 minutes time. Then I will ask you. Thank you.
Doctor, can I try?
Yes, please.
Not sure, but
no problem. Nothing is right and wrong. So you can just try. I'm here
Okay.
to guide you. Yeah.
All right. So my first hypothesis is between the service quality and customer switching. So when the service quality is good, the lower the customer switching. And my hypothesis 2 is when there is lower switching cost is observed. Lower switching cost is observed if the service quality is good, that leads to a lower customer switching.
Okay. Someone else would like to try? I mentioned, right, good service quality when it will be there. So you just say like, okay, let's other try. Okay. Anyone else? Kausalya? Okay, good try. Okay, let's see how others have written. Need
Can I try, Prof?
please your Ferdinand, right?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. My hypothesis one, the customer switching factor has a positive relationship with the service quality offered by providers.
Okay.
And number two, however, switching costs have an influence on this relationship.
Okay, good. Yes, you got it like, but I need to make it more specific, right? Okay.
Okay.
Just mention that switching costs had the relation means like you influence the relationship, but relationship of
Yes.
what? Relationship of service
Oh,
and customer. You need to
I
mention.
see.
So you need
Okay.
yeah. Okay, then who else would like to try? Let's see who actually did the thing right way.
Prof, can I try?
Please try.
Okay. Higher service quality results in lower switching costs for customers.
Good.
Higher switching costs decrease the likelihood of customers switching to competitors.
Hey, hold on. Just higher switching cost. Can you see the arrow from switching cost to customer switching?
Yeah.
No, la?
Sorry, no.
Then how? Then okay, wrong.
Okay.
Okay, then who else would like to try?
Can I try again?
Yes, try. Tell me try.
All right. Hypothesis number one, higher service quality leads to lower customer switching rates.
All right. The first one is okay. Then go for the second one.
Okay. Higher switching costs lead to lower customer switching rates. Is that
Again, who is saying? The Hilmi.
Yeah.
Switching cost is not affecting this switching cost is not affecting customer switching. It's affecting what? The relationship of these two variables.
Okay, I understand.
Now try? No, you are cancelled. So Hilmi is right. Okay, then next, who would like to try now? Correct one. Yes,
Can I try?
yes, try please. Yeah, Roslano, right?
Yes. Changes in switching costs will lead to the changes in service quality and customer switching.
Okay, same thing. Okay, next. Roslano out. Then now, who else would like to try now? One Saiful.
Yes, can I try?
Try please.
High switching costs significantly will increase the customer loyalty.
Loyalty you got from where? Any term I put it here, loyalty?
No, but on the switching.
Look, Saiful, you can talk about loyalty in explanation, not here, not when you will be writing the hypothesis. You got my point?
Can I?
Yes, can. Who?
Vino.
Okay,
So the second hypothesis, right? Higher switching costs can influence the customer switching.
Same thing again, we know same.
Hi, Prof, can I try?
Getting interesting.
Then who else now?
Can we go the other way around? Oh, Rosihan,
Let's see that I'm trying, Miss. I'm saying that look, you are not getting any error from switching cost to customer switching cost to customer switching, right? Still,
But it influencing the relationship.
It's going to be not significant, right?
One by one. Then, Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, try.
Hypothesis one, higher service quality leads to lower customer switching rates.
That one is okay. You go for the second one.
Second hypothesis, switching costs moderates the relationship between service quality and customer switching.
Very good, very good. Now you got it, right? So switching cost again?
Switching cost moderates the relationship between service quality and customer switching.
Having impact on, right? Yeah, exactly. Switching cost moderates the relationship between service quality and customer switching. That's it.
So the keyword is moderator.
Yes, switching cost moderates the I'm talking about hypothesis 2. Hypothesis 1, everybody got it, right? The higher will be the service quality, the higher the lower the customer switching, right?
Okay.
So this one is okay. Hypothesis 1, the higher the service quality, the lower the customer switching, or there is a negative relationship between service quality and customer switching. Done. Second one, you see switching cost, right? Switching cost moderates the relationship between service quality and customer switching. So in this case, switching cost can be high, it can be low, right? So suppose switching cost is high, though the service quality is bad, because of switching cost is high, customer will be not switch, right? With the lower service quality, people will be remaining with the brand or will be continuing with the bad services. Are you getting my point? Suppose, for example, I'm giving you example from my life. When I came here, I subscribed for the Unify internet connection, right? So internet, I just registered for that. And when I subscribed that, when I registered with them, they have given me the bond for 2 years and security money of 500. Then when I started using the Unify service, it was very bad. But I was thinking, oh, my 500 ringgit for 2 years. If I go for switching it a bit within before 2 years, I have to give the penalty of 500, right? So what, for my case, what happened? Switching cost is actually affecting. Though service quality is bad, normally customer switching will be higher, right? But for the switching cost, I'm still remaining with the Unify. You got my point? But if it's like 50 ringgit or 100 ringgit, I would not be care, right? I would be immediately like terminate their like contract and will go for switching to another brand. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the one, right? So when we will be writing the hypothesis of this second one, right? Can I write it down for you guys? So that later on, if you want to use the moderator, you can write it down accordingly. Okay, document 2. So switching cost, don't get confused with other. Switching cost moderates the relationship between what? Service quality?
And customer switching rate.
Customer switching, exactly.
Can we use partially mediating?
Oh, that one is different thing. Okay, that is mediating and moderating. I'm talking about moderating. Okay, mediating, partially moderating and fully mediating is depends on the mediator's role, not moderating one. All right, who is asking me this one? Zulilmi, later on I come because you raised the issue. So though it will be at this moment, this is like a very initial stage, right? So partial mediating and fully mediating, I'll be coming on that later on after I finish the class, if you want to know more, because this one, I don't want to complicate these things with other people, right? So switching cost, sorry, I'm so bad in, okay, switching cost moderates the relationship between service quality and customer switching. Just like this way, you just simply write it down. Then in explanation, you can say that if switching cost is high, so there is a possibility the strength of the relationship of this relationship between the service quality and customer switching will be low, right? And then if the switching cost is low, then there is a possibility that the relationship between these two factors will be strong. So this way you just write it down in explanation. But when you will be writing the hypothesis, right? Hypothesis 2 for that second exercise, right? So just simply write down customer switching cost moderates the relationship between the service quality and customer switching. So that's it. Makes sense, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then whatever moderator you use, you just put it like this way. Then in explanation, you give the more details. Okay. And also when you will be using the moderator, so you need to make sure that there is a category, right? Suppose if you want to see the, what is that one? Moderator or the result of the relationship of this variable based on what is the result for the male group or what is the result for the female group, right? What is the result for the young generation? What is the result for the older generation? So this way, you can go for, if you want to go for comparative study, you can use those variable or factors as a moderator to come up with the comparative study. All right. So then what else?
Sorry, Prof.
Yes, please.
Moderates, right? Moderates, it can be positively moderate and negatively moderate, or it just one
This
moderation only?
moderator's main role will be either strengthening or weakening the relationship, not
I
like
see.
positively or negatively.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so then for this case, here you can simply see that here for this case, religiosity will be independent variable. Here, this one is dependent variable, right? My main interest of the study. And then customer buying attitude will be mediator here. Here, the generational cohort will be acting as a moderator, right? And usually the moderators, it is not affecting the factors, right? It is affecting the relationship between the variables. So this is the basic things. If you can get it, the concept is very clear to you, means half of the research you already know what to do. Okay, so then look, I go next to this one, just following this example, right? Okay, I just simply just take this one. Okay, then see, I don't know when I go for this one, why it's going to the first slide. It's like, okay, so I give you the, okay. So this one, like the factors affecting investors' trust to trade online, okay, study on, okay. So this is the model, and 6 hypotheses can be seen from the model. Then just write it down. Okay, perceived usefulness is positively related to investors' trust. Perceived convenience related to positively related to investors' trust, right? And so on, based on the means like relationship, you write it down, the hypothesis. And then I mentioned in the first class that please come up with the research topic, and then write down the background of the study, then write down the problem statement, right? And problem statement has 2 parts. One is research objective, another part is what? Research questions. I asked you not to write down the research question that moment, right? I told you guys that please don't write down the research questions at this moment. So we will be writing the research question after we draw the conceptual model and develop our hypothesis, or write down our hypothesis, right? Then based on the hypothesis, we will be writing our research question in chapter 1. Now, suppose you already have your conceptual model. You already have your hypothesis, right? When your hypothesis will be written, you just go for copying it from here. You just copy this. You just copy this and just change this hypothesis into question form. Okay, like this. Then if the hypothesis is like this, then what will be my research questions? You just write it down like this way. Okay, I copy, paste all the hypotheses, then I make it like research question 1. To what extent perceived of usefulness is influencing investors' trust? Got it or not? Got it or not? How to do it? Just change the hypothesis into question format. Then to what extent perceived convenience is influencing make sense or not? If not making sense,
Prof?
yes, please.
Yes.
You keep the question open-ended like this, to what extent, or do you go a bit more specific, like does higher perceived usefulness influences investors' trust?
Rosian, this one is chapter 1, right? You still don't know. You still don't know to whether it's positively influencing or negatively influencing, right?
I see. Okay.
Because
All
you
right.
will be doing it what? After literature review. But we usually, this is the process. We usually don't go for writing. That's why. Because we still don't know. We at the first stage, right? When we are preparing the chapter 1, we still don't know what should be our research question, right? To achieve our research objective. So when we will read more and more, and we will be already coming up with the conceptual model and hypothesis based on the literature review, right? So then we actually go back to the chapter 1 to write down the research question, so that this research question should be aligned with what? Aligned with your this hypothesis. Make sense, Rosian?
Yeah, understand.
So then what will happen actually? Then your research questions are already there. You are writing it down, right? Oh, sorry, where is the document? So you are already writing down the research question 1. Then later the examiner will be checking whether your research questions are aligned with your this conceptual model and this hypothesis or not. So for you people, you need to make sure your research question, your conceptual model, and your hypothesis, these three things are aligned with each other. Ultimately, when you are actually answering the question, right? Answering this research question means you are testing the relationship of these variables, then you will be able to actually achieve your research objective. This research objective. This is the research objective that I mentioned. This will be automatically achieved. To what extent this perceived usefulness in the investors trust, to what extent or to what level, means you can also means like what is that one, means like use other terms or other words as well, but ultimately need to just make sure that all these research questions are aligned with your this hypothesis, aligned with your conceptual model. Makes sense or not?
Understand.
So that's why others as well. Yeah. So that's why I mentioned that don't write the research question at this moment. You know, chapter 1, right? That chapter 1, it will be keep changing. Sometimes we do the whole thing, we complete the paper, we write down the conclusion, then again we go back to the chapter 1 to amend it, to edit it, to modify it. So ultimately your first chapter should be matched with your last chapter. All right. So whatever means like you mentioned in your first chapter, in conclusion, actually you got the same thing what you were talking about in your first chapter, right? So like this way. So this is the process.
Prof, for the research objective,
Yes.
it only has to be one objective, or
Okay.
there
So
can
that's a
be.
good point, right? So look, based on like this. So for this one, right? So to the main objective of the research is to identify the factors. Okay, I just go for the full screen. Please excuse me for this. I don't know when I go for like this one. Maybe I don't know. Means like when I go for the full screen, it's actually taking me to the first slide. Okay, look this this one, right? You can also go for okay. Hold on. So you say like this one. Look, this guy already just mentioned that it's like clear-cut one objective, right? To identify what? To identify and analyze or examine, right? What about the factors, right? All factors there he is going to identify, as well as he is going to test or examine the relationship of these factors and customers, online trust and trade online. So this you can also go for making it like sub-objective. Sub-objective could be like is there any relationship to identify whether there is any relationship between perceived usefulness and investors trust? To identify whether there is any relationship between the ease of usefulness and investor trust. So you can just copy this and you just like put it here to make it sub-objective. Noor Hayati, right?
Yes, Prof. Correct.
So like this way you can also come up with the sub-objective. No problem on that.
All right. Thanks. Prof, one more thing. So like in the some of the articles it states like the aim of the study. So it means the same as the objective of the study, or it's completely
Aim of the study, right? Your research objective. Same.
Objectives can be many, Prof.
Can be many, then you need lots of time to finish it.
I see. So what's your suggestion?
So make it specific, narrow it down. Don't go for so many things. Don't be too ambitious. I previously mentioned, right? Just come up with a very specific one very narrow it down, even if it's a very general one, so make it very specific. So it will be like means other aspects will be there, other angles will be there, but maybe you will not be able to finish it on time. So that will be your limitation, right? So from a particular angle or from a specific manner, you just come up with the research objective and then try to investigate accordingly.
Okay. So your advice is not don't
Not
put too many objectives.
not too many.
All right.
Later on, then you will be like frustrating that, oh my God, what I did.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, correct.
so from now on, be very specific and very clear actually what you are trying to do. So many things can be done, but no need at this moment. So you can keep it for your future research. Okay. You can do it later on, another research, no problem. Okay, now you already have your, of course, you will be reviewing more article, right? So this one, I asked you for 10 articles, only for today's class purpose, so that you can see that, okay, what variables are there, other people's they have considered to investigate similar to my problem, so that you can use that column or literature review to select your variables for coming up with your own conceptual model, right? Okay, then what I was trying to say, okay, so you already have your this literature review for your paper critique. So these are the articles all related to your topic, yes or no? You already have your literature review, right?
Yes.
So just choose one article from here, from this list, and do the paper critique. So just select one and do the paper critique, right? Paper critique you need to do, right? Related to your topic, any journal article you need to select to do the paper critique. Just select one from your this list and it's done, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Again.
Okay. One more thing, I don't know who's the one. Okay, Jane Thomas, are you there? Jane Thomas.
Oh, yes, bro. I'm here.
Jane, the one that you sent me last night, right? So then make sure that the literature review you have done, this is not related to your topic. Your topic is TikTok platform, right? So what is the topic, your one?
My one is a factor of the TikTok influencing.
Factors affecting the TikTok, something like that, right? I can't remember. Okay, hold on. So the literature review you have done is not correct actually. So like others, you have done the literature review on leadership, then employees' performances, and so on. You need to just going for reviewing all the literature related to your this particular topic. Social platforms influences on customer satisfaction or customers purchase intention or so on. So you just search, just copy your this topic and search in Google, and then you will see lots of studies are already there. Review those related to your topic. Suppose this topic, right? One of the students' topic is this one: factors affecting to maximize key opinion leaders collaboration and corporate success, right? So all the articles, those are related to this collaboration, means the opinion leaders collaboration and organizational performances or their success, right? So all these are related to his or her topic. So you also need to make sure your all the literatures will be related to your topic.
Okay, bro.
Okay,
Okay, we do.
All right,
Okay,
thank you. But the way you have done is correct way, but the articles you have selected is not the correct one. All right, Jane?
Okay,
Not only for Jane, for others as well. Please make sure all the articles should be related to your topic. Okay. What else? Thank you. Okay, some of the students, you came up with the topic with like particularly that area, its pros and cons, challenges and opportunities. These should not be the title or topic. Okay, pros and cons you can easily, but what is the problem here, right? Pros and cons we are understanding, we can identify those pros and cons for that particular area or the issue or the topic. Then it can't be a research topic. Okay, so make it more specific. Those who have chosen like this way, please make it more specific. Actually, when you will be choosing the topic, you first ask yourself, what is the problem? I think most of you, I have actually replied back like this: what's the problem here, and what you are trying to find out. So when you will be selecting your topic, first you ask yourself, what is the problem here, actually what you are trying to investigate and what you are trying to find out. So this way it will be much more clearer for you that whether your topic is okay or not to proceed with, to prepare the proposal and conduct your research. All right, so I think that's all from my side. What else? Now it's your turn. Any questions so far?
Prof, I've got another question.
Yes.
In the conceptual model, right? At the independent variable side, there are some questionnaires that has those independent variables already listed, right? Some questionnaires in some other research studies. Can we use that?
Yes, can.
Yeah. So we work backwards basically. Yeah.
First, when you will draw the conceptual model, right? Just put the main variables, right? Then you will see the questionnaire. Means in order to measure those variables, they have used those questionnaire. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the measurement items, we call it as. So later part, you will be requiring, you will need those. So you just keep it with you. So later on, you will be developing your questionnaire. Those items will be helpful for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you. Then what else? All good? Yes. Yes,
The
please.
slide that you shared just now, right? I noticed some of the sample that you shared wasn't in the UROC. Are you able to share the updated one?
I can. This is like for your understanding. I just showed it to you. Means sometimes I just get this information and just simply I just use it for your understanding to make you understand more clearly. So that's why it means like I didn't put it like those slides prepared previously, right? So and then when I give the lecture, so I use like some example and just I click, not click means like I just collect this information to just use it for the class lecture purpose. So that's why it's not there. You understood, right, Kaushalya?
Yeah, understood.
Okay. So I don't know what I actually use. So which one you want, you just let me know. I will share with you guys.
Yeah, the lecture slides that you just shared,
Lecture slide, this one, right? This one?
Doctor, you're not sharing.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I forgot that. Okay, hold on. Huh? I share a screen again. This one I can share, right? I already.
Not this one. The lecture slide, the PowerPoint.
I will show you again. Okay, so this is the one, right? This is actually I wrote it in class. So which one?
Yeah, the samples. Before that, the factors affecting investors. So the one in UROCs do not have this slide.
Okay, this is I save it and then I upload it. The previous one I remove and I upload this one for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Then what else? Nothing. All good.
So, Prof, our next is to
one by one. Again.
Our study, develop the conceptual model, is it?
Okay, yes. Now for next class, your task will be to draw the conceptual model like this simple way. Okay, just identify all these independent variable, or if you want to have your means like put your mediator here, just put it independent variable, right? Draw it, draw the lines, means like draw the arrows, which factors are affecting which, and then follow your this conceptual model, write down the hypothesis. So this one will be the main task for you for the next class. Okay, next class actually I'm going to give the lecture on the research methodology for the section for the chapter 3. Okay, so for today's class up to here is like related to your chapter 2. That one is literature review, and based on the literature review, then we actually will be coming up with this conceptual model and hypothesis development. So you don't, for you guys, you don't need to like, it's not compulsory to send me. But if you are getting confused or you want me to check that whether your model looks okay or not, then you can send it to me quickly, just like one page in Word document. Don't put it in PDF, right? No, sometimes, you know, if you send it in WhatsApp, and when I check it in like in mobile, then the arrows are like here and there. It's like not aligned. It's like if you don't do the grouping, right, of the how to say those how to say like these boxes, right, and the arrows. So this will be here and there. Better you just send me the PDF version. So if I need the Word document, then I will ask you that, okay, send me in Word document. Make sense? So in one page, if you want to send me in one page, you draw the diagram, and followed by the diagram, you just write down the hypothesis.
Prof, one more question. So the hypothesis that is this one, right? Is there a minimum or maximum number of hypotheses that we should come up?
It depends on this, how many variables you are choosing. Don't like means too ambitious, so many 10, 11, 12. Don't like the most important variables you try to select and use it for your research.
Okay.
There is no means like at least three independent variable you try to like come up with, and then 5, 6 should be okay. The more hypothesis means, okay, suppose you are too ambitious, if you want like 20 variables for independent variables, later on what will happen? 20 variables, right? So for each variable, you need minimum 5 questions to ask to your respondent to measure each of the variable. Minimum 5 questions you need. So 20 into 5, how many questions will be there?
Oh, that's too much.
100, right? Do you
Yeah.
think your respondents are okay to
Answer
fit
those
all these?
questions.
They will be mad and they will not respond to your survey. Yeah,
Okay.
opinion. Okay, so
Thank
try
you.
to make it like minimum, right? So that's why I'm saying that for the time limitation, there are so many limitations, and also for collecting the data, right? So some people, they say like this way that, okay, my sample size is 205. Then I distributed 205 questionnaire and I received 205. Do you think 205 questionnaire you will distribute and you will get 100% responses?
No.
Response rate will be very minimum, 30 to 35, maximum 40%. So if you want to get 200 respondents, how many you need to means like distribute? More than 1,000 means like minimum like 800 to 1,000 you need to distribute. Means no, if it's like 200 means like minimum will be 600, right? 600 700. So that if you target for that, then you can assume that yes, you will be getting the response rate will be like 40% or 30%, something like that. So how to means like how to do the sampling and everything, I will be talking about it during next class. So next class there will be next week there will be no class, right? When is our next class? 20th, right?
After Raya, is it?
Yeah, Raya week, and also like 6th, right? 6th is no class. 13th is no class. I think 20th will be the 4th webinar.
Oh, so we've got 2 weeks, basically no class.
Yeah, so you have time to do the more literature review and also doing the conceptual model. During Raya, please, I will be on leave, so don't ask me to review your conceptual model. So after Raya, I'm okay to review. But in the meantime, till 6th, I'm okay. So 6th, I will be here. So no problem. So you can send it to me. But during Raya week, I will be not available. Okay for you guys?
Okay, Prof.
Okay,
Prof. Prof, just now you mentioned about the critic paper. That one, you'll touch that in next class, right? Or
No,
not?
you don't need to send me anything. You just choose your article and based on the template, just write it down and upload it in Euros. No problem on that. Ferdinand, right? Who asked?
Yes.
Do
Yes.
we need to include the original paper that we
Yes,
created?
please, original paper, please include it, or otherwise, like say, means at least write down the articles and yes, name, means title and journal's name, right? So that if you are not better, you means I suggest you, yes, please give me the article as well, right? And at least if you are not means like uploading it, but at least which article you are reviewing and you have done the paper critic on, you need to mention the name. Some students just send the paper critic, but which paper they have criticized, they don't mention. So that's why, yes, good question. So please upload the journal article as well. Any questions so far? Today's class was interesting, right?
Yes, Prof.
That's the main part actually. So how to come up with the conceptual model? That will be your conceptual model. Later on, who knows, your conceptual model will be becoming a theory, right? So people will be people will be using your theory as a reference. Later I will be talking about this means research design, right? So when I'll be talking about it, then I will also discuss on this, how you can come up with your own theory. Okay, so no question means all okay, right? I know when I will finish my class and people will be sending me the text. Okay, if I get time, then I will reply you. So I'm still here till 6. Then actually I'm going back home for the Raya purpose. So then that 1 week time, I think I'll be on leave. So again, if I get time, you send me the text. If I get time, I will reply to you. That's all from my side. Then,
Thank you,
yes,
Prof.
Okay, thank you.
yes, please. Yes.
Just for my understanding,
Mhm.
after we finish this class, completed the chapter 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
So for the FYP, is there any possibility that supervisor asks us to change the title?
Title can be changed. That's why it's called as working title, right? But the theme will be same. So then you need to make sure that that's why I'm guiding you guys that the title you are selecting, so it's actually like up to the mark, so that there will be not major changes. If you want to use the same topic, right, then you need to make sure that you are doing it in such a manner so later there will be no major changes by your supervisor. So the basic things, whether these are there or means these things are there or not, the basic stuffs are there or not, that's what I'm trying to guide you in such a manner so that at least those basic things are there in your proposal, so there will be no major changes by your supervisor.
I see.
I don't think so our supervisors will be asking you, okay, nothing is there, so you can just go for choosing another one, start from the zero. No, I don't think so we will be doing it.
No, it should be related to what we have done in chapter 1, 2, 3 lah.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I mentioned that we highly recommend you to
Mm.
use the same proposal for your research project. Okay.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you,
Okay,
Prof.
thank